Thanks for the introduction. You told everything about me now, based on space. 47. I was in a midlife crisis when I was 40, gladly, because I didn't see the problems in the world. 5 years ago I saw them. I'm a grandfather already, sort of, 5 years now. I have 2 adopted kids, and I was 22 when I had 2 8-year-old girls to take care of, partly. So, and they have children already, so I have the same concerns as you. Even I'm 47, yes. And you are 55.
Yeah, 55.
Yeah. So this is what I'm doing. This unit was in front of the RAI, in front of the Aquatech last week. And our concept is actually closing the loop, but that's a holistic thing, and no one will say something about that. Waste to taste, more disgusting, but this is something I want to talk about. Waste to taste, P to T, because I served fresh mint tea at all the visitors out of urine. P to T, that's something to take into consideration, because we can make water out of urine easily. This is the unit, closing the loop, that's my story. 5 years ago, as I mentioned, I was inspired by ES. That's not something good to tell, but they forced 50,000 people onto a mountain. No humanitarian aid organization could reach them, and that's why I designed this system. This is a container, a 40-foot container with toilets, good sanitation, and a water treatment system, a wastewater treatment system, so we could make water out of waste. So that's why I'm talking about SDG 6, because we can go from toilet water to drinking water if we want. And as extra, and you already mentioned it, we take nutrients out, so we can grow fresh vegetables with that, and so we can go from waste to taste, and we can achieve 2 goals, goal 2 and goal 6. So that's why I'm here. I'm a horticulture specialist. I'm not a wastewater treatment specialist. Sorry for that. But I've learned a lot the last 3-4 years. I worked at ESA. This is all based on space technology. 5 years ago I was working on a Mars mission, 6 people to Mars, 1,000 days. They can't take all the food with them, they can't carry it because the rocket engines can't carry it. So they have to rely on their own body. Every time you pee, to make that into consideration, when you pee you produce 4 grams of fertilizers. If you are a tea expert, you could grow easily 75 branches of fresh mint, to make sure. If you poo and pee all day, you produce 12 grams of fertilizer. You can easily produce 450 grams of fresh vegetables. So, Kees, you were mentioning about, Asia, about Africa. We designed the concept actually based on space, that we can make a closed loop system for Africa. When they pee and poo enough, so they should take some food in their body and water, but then they can close the loop by producing water every time and producing food every time, relying on your own body. So that's the base of my story. I have 20 sheets, I have 20 minutes, so I will now speed up a little bit. This is actually what we are doing, because it's water and sanitation. So we created the container. Red Cross told us, okay, but there are no sexy disasters. So we can't fly in a 40-foot container. Helicopters can carry it, but you can't pay the military defense for dropping that container. So we cut the container in pieces. We designed building blocks, and these are the building blocks we designed. And one other problem is, if you are in a disaster, you still won't drink your own pee. You will not. So we designed a new system. This first system, the drinking water system, was placed after the urine treatment to turn urine water into drinking water actually, but we have to put it in front now, so we have a drinking water unit based on space, but we clean up surface water groundwater or rainwater into drinking water. Then we have to solve another problem. I've been to Kajiado, Kenya, and NIA, Neighbor Initiative Alliance. They have real difficulties because near the border of Tanzania they don't have any water anymore. And they have groundwater, but the pit latrines made sure that all the groundwater is polluted. So there is nitrate? I don't know that word. Yeah? It's poison in groundwater, and it's not easy to clean that groundwater for drinking water. So you can't only supply water, you have to supply good sanitation. So that's all closed into the deal SDG 6. So what we designed is a sanitation pit latrine 4.0, as we mention it, and it's just a block of 2.5 meters with a shower, a urinal, and a sitting toilet, drinking water, a clean water basin on top, and a wastewater basin down. And what we do, we take all the wastewater out and we turn it into compost and irrigation water, fertilizers, and water. And we can recover something. I have to explain something about two logos on this sheet. Because the leaders in the world are talking about this goal, and that's some complaining because I want to fight the rules, so I have to be a little bit critical to our governments. I'm a lonely wolf, I'm a small entrepreneur, startup with good ideas, but no one will help you. Actually, there's a lot of money, Kees mentioned. I was really happy when I heard there's a lot of money. I can't reach that money. They will not help me. Because United Nations, I have to be 3 years old, I have to have 3 references, I have to have 3 good financial year figures. So for me it's not easy. So that's why I met the giant, and I'm really in the accelerator program of Nijhuis Industries. They are worldwide leader in industrial wastewater treatment. They know all about the world and water treatment. They didn't know a lot about decentral, small cleaning, so we gathered and I learned my lessons with them. I can use the laboratory, I can use the workspace, I can, they have a cutter of stainless steel, they have a belt and weld system. So what I think of with ESA together, because I have 3 people from ESA working with me and 3 people of Nijhuis, and together with 7 we make all the space technology to an Earth application. So the wash equipment you saw, they are based on space, but this team of 7, we made it happen. So that is why I have to explain the logos. I can't install updates. Hopefully the computer will not stop, but it's a good cheat. I can dance and sing, but then I will force you to go, so I will wait and
see what happens now?
Yeah.
Can you check?
This is my worst nightmare. Because they are filming it and I have to do it all again. I will not. I will not.
There you go.
Oh, this is good.
Click here?
Yeah, this is mine. Yeah. So what we have to do with the water, we have to make sure that we don't use more than necessary. We have to use what we have, and we have to recover what is in it to clean it, but also make the proper business case. And this is actually what I told you already. If you have 10,000 people, you can make food for 10,000 people. It's 1,000, 10, 6 based on space. So we have to look at a new cycle, and we have to make sure that we make this loop closed. These are the problems. Kees already mentioned it, so I will not put them step by step, but the why is really clear. Kees mentioned, and this is really our approach. We always look at water resources and water on demand. Do you know the festival Black Cross? Zwarte Cross? Yeah? We cleaned up the shower water and we reused it for flushing the toilets. And we saved approximately 600 cubic meters of water in 4 days. Just by taking, yesterday I took, sorry?
it green, right?
Yeah, we turned the grey water into grey water again, and I only used a Tide, how do you call it? A Penty? No, a Penty is something different. Just, yeah. Easy, because only the hairs have to take out, and the soap is really useful because it's making the toilet really clean. Just a gimmick to tell you we can easily make water into good water again if we separate all the wastewater streams. Because that's the grey water, we can use it, we can actually make it easy to drinking water again because it's not that polluted yet at that time. We also have yellow water. Have you seen the green peas in, not the green pea, green peas, no, green pea. The wild pea facilities in Amsterdam at the Rembrandtplein. You have to look at them, they're really nice. It's a plant tray during the day, and during the night the covers are off, and then it's a urinoir. We are emptying them, and what we do is we turn that urine into clean water, reusable water again, and 10% fertilizer. And actually we made an agreement with the city of Amsterdam that they buy back the fertilizer for the public green. So how circular can you make it? Also,
Were you connected to the Mediomatic location as well? Because there were urinoirs outside.
no, I've seen them, but I have to visit, but I'm not connected yet, but we will, definitely, yeah. And we also are designing now, we got a grant now, and that's luckily, we are designing a green lady. So also the women can go to a urinoir and not spoiling 5 liters of water each time you pee. Because that's the practice. And also for festivals, 30 million liters of urine are produced only in the Netherlands. And half of it is because of women, and they flush 5 liters each time they pee. We men do it better now, sorry to say. So, and the black water is in our case, it's the poo and the paper. We turn it into compost, irrigation water, and dischargeable water. And it's all about the business case. So if we want to make a better business case, we can make energy out of the wastewater. Preferable is to make food, waste to taste. If you look at other things, we have some difficulties in festivals, for example, with drugs residue or medicine residue. And we are now able, we have new techniques based on space where we can remove drugs residues decentralized on festivals. So that is something what helps us a lot now, because all the festivals have to collect the urine separately because there's a lot of drugs in it, and we can treat it on site, so the centralized wastewater treatment plants of the water boards will not be polluted by the drugs produced in one weekend, and because it's a lot. And we are thinking of reusing the drugs, but we are not able yet. But call to action 2 is when we want a really good business place, or hallucinating water, I call it. You get nervous. So it's important to do research, but also to look at good business cases. So this is our system we created to make drinking water. And it's actually, we can make 1,000, but also we can make 400 cubes a day for just remote places. I will not tell you about the techniques, but rely on space and rely on us. And if you have any questions later on, I will answer them. This is the good sanitation, shower, toilets, household units. We are now planning a project, but I will tell you later more about it. Clean water tank, wastewater tank, make it holistic, as I told you. Then the black water treatment, we have an easy system, just composting, dewatering, and with chemical treatment, because what we do is we separate the solid and the liquid. The liquid we just chemically clean so they can use it for irrigation. It's not the best way, but it's the most common way in Kenya, for example, now. And we create fertilizer and irrigation water and compost, but we now designed a new system and we tested it on into the Great Wide Open in Vlieland. And as they peed, we produced clean water, 90% clean water and 10% fertilizer. This water we reused again for flushing the toilets, because normally we do it with drinking water. And this 10% fertilizer, up to now we grow really nice basil. And it's very tasty for the pesto. Not to call it pesto. Black water treatment unit. What we always do, we clean up the water with the drinking water unit in front, and then we go into the sanitation cycle to make sure that people can take a shower, they can clean, and then at the end we make compost out of it for soil treatment, and we use the liquids for irrigation water, from waste to taste. We also have the new system. It's more expensive, but it will give you a better business case. And this is actually what I wanted to show you, because this is what I mentioned in the beginning. We can close the loop easily. If we don't pollute the water too much, and this, I think this is the closed loop where we can make also the water chain more clean and reusable. So sustainability goal 6 and 2, making drinking water. And actually what we did in this case in Kenya, a village of 5,000 people, they produce drinking water, but not only for themselves but also for their neighborhood. So what they do is they have their own drinking water clean, but also they sell drinking water. So they can make a business case out of that. Then also the service, transportation is a service. Sanitation can be a service because they are most willing. We did some research in slums, for example, and they earn money by trading, and they want to spend money for their health. We work together with Scheer Kenya, for example, for women empowerment. They have health classes, so 10 small men, boys and girls, they are taught by Scheer how to go into a healthy environment, and those 10 go to the village and they tell their moms, dads, grandfather, grandmother about good hygiene. And that's really important to close this loop, because I'm only in for 20% with the technique, and 80% is attitude. It's attitude, all in once. So service is the thing. Toilets is a business model, but also the black water treatment, what we turn into irrigation water and compost, and it will give fresh vegetables. And I've learned my lessons that if you eat and drink, you have to go to the loo again, so to the toilet, and then you have the closed loop. Yeah. So now it's not easy to earn money. We are not recognized yet. They all want our system, but they can't pay it. So we have to go in another approach. So what we do here now with 10 minutes, okay? 5. Oh, I thought. So, no, I'm nearly finished. So 8 minutes. I have to go in rich and poor, actually, and what we do now with AFD in Utrecht, 5 volunteers, they work 8 hours a week on our project, and also they already bought a ticket with 5 of them to go to Kenya to implement our project, so I'm really proud of them. And what we are going to do is to feel tourists guilty to start with. If they fly to the Masai Maras to spot some beautiful elephants or giraffes or something else, they have to pay their bills. So they book a really good stay in a base camp eco resort, $150 a night. And what we want to do is to add $12 each night. What we're going to do is plant a tree and feel free. So we are not going to use the black water and the compost and the wastewater, irrigation water for food only, but also we're going to grow trees, because there are 2 basic needs in Kenya now. They cut all the trees for firing, for cooking. Second thing is they need an economically development. So what we do is we set up together with Scheer Kenya, we set up tree nurseries. We use the wastewater, irrigation water compost to make trees. And we're going to sell the trees with the travel agencies to the tourists. They are going to plant the tree as they are there. And then there's a business model, because economically they can grow and they can spend the money on good hygiene, good sanitation. And that will cover the whole holistic loop, because that's pretty necessary. We found out actually in this is more better business case, but if you look at the waste to taste business case, in a village of 5,000 people, they can earn 150,000 euros profit by the servicing I just mentioned. So toilet service, transport service, irrigation water and drinking water. And that's a huge amount of money. And then starts my complaint again to the United Nations because they still need 40% of the money, the budget is not available for all the help they want to give. But they also don't like entrepreneurs, and they don't like good business cases, and that's a call to action to you all. Spread the word, go into those goals, but the organizations who made these goals are not open for real entrepreneurship. And we have to change that thing, because if we want to make it happen, then we have to convince finance people, banks, world banks, that there is a business model, but we have to change it. We have to go in transition, we have to make it more holistic. Otherwise we are not going to reach the human right that everyone should have access to clean toilets, good sanitation and clean water. Still 5 minutes left? Okay. Now these are our partners in the field, because I need them desperately, so I went to Kenya a couple of times, and these are now the people we work with. We are making project descriptions, and we're going to choose what to do in front, but we want to help them all. And actually my living is now in the Netherlands, so City of Amsterdam is one of my customers. The Blue City, we talked about it, but there's also a Blue City in Rotterdam. We're going to build a raw material factory in the basement over there to show the world what we can do with wastewater streams, separate wastewater streams, and also recognize the value out of it. These are some projects we did. We tested on festivals, it was really nice, but also we did some projects in Ghana, Burkina Faso and Senegal. And actually this is our container we normally use for the P2T demonstration, and to talk about water and the value of water and what we can do. These are basic elements. Clean for green is our slogan, so polluted water convert to drinking water and water for hygiene, and sanitary wastewater converting to irrigation water, fertilizer and compost for green. So that's sort of waste to taste approach. Advantages. These are my sales story. I will not mention this, but the building blocks are really important. Decentral sanitation, we can do it. These are my partners, Nijhuis, Kemkens and ESA, because we need the giants to make the difference. So thanks for them.
Question.